All right, we are back on the Ace Pro 2. This time we are recording in iLog and we're using actual ND filters. Now I say that actual ND filters because there's a way that Insta360 somehow has built in a software ND. When you're editing in the app, you can apply a motion ND filter, but we are not doing that. We are using a physical ND filter, the official ones from Insta360 and Freewell. We are on iLog, so we're gonna grade this exactly the way. I can't do a mobile edit on this one because I want to show you kind of a one-to-one comparison of if you're used to my Action 4 or Action 5 Pro vlogs, this is a kind of the exact setup that I would use on those cameras, and I'm gonna try and get the look that I get through those cameras here. The main differences are the color here is 8-bit, which means that there's not as much of a color depth as there is on the DJI cameras, which are 10-bit. I'm not gonna get super technical into that because frankly, I don't even know what it actually means, but from my own experience, all I know is that the 10-bit is, there's a lot richer colors and there's a lot more micro colors in between. So it's like there are billions of reds instead of thousands of reds, something like that. So we're gonna see how it works, how it plays out, and just like how it looks. But as far as Insta360 versus DJI goes, I have a pretty good opinion on that. And I would not normally use the Insta360 cameras in this way, but I do want to see what they're capable of in terms of iLog and doing it the traditional way that I would do it on the other cameras. So now that's out of the way, let's move on with this vlog. So like any action camera, this is still stabilizing using a faster shutter speed. And when you're using ND filters, you are limiting the shutter to, in this case, because we're using 24 frames per second, we're limited to 1/50th of a second shutter speed. That is going to introduce shake because of the electronic stabilization. I've covered this quite well in other videos, so if you're curious about that, then check out this video right up here. I do go into depth onto why that is the case, but what I want to see is like, how does it look? Like, I'm okay. I always said before that when it comes to motion blur, I'd rather have motion blur than perfect stabilization, but it looks like it's doing a pretty good job. So we'll see what that looks like in the final edit, but that's just a little bit of a precursor. So you can see what's going on right now behind me is real motion blur, not the app. And let me know below if you want me to compare the real motion to the software one. I will do a video actually kind of showing you the differences between the two. One of the advantages that I love about the software one is you still get perfect stabilization as opposed to having to hold it really steady, and you're gonna get a little bit of jitters in the corner when you're using physical ND. Obviously the motion blur is gonna be a little bit better, but these are just the trade-offs that we have with these things. The other thing is that I'm so used to now editing in the app that I've gotten a little bit lazy. I don't really wanna take this into the computer and apply my look to it. But on the plus side, it will look and feel more like how my videos felt before. And we're able to use the 4x3 from the camera because there's no limit on what you can export when you're on a computer. And it's kind of funny because Insta360 gives you the ability to shoot 4x3 in camera, but then doesn't allow you to export in 4x3 in the app, which is really annoying. Also, in the last vlog, I talked about the Shipyards market. That's what's going on here right now. Every Friday in the summer, all these food trucks come, like you can see behind me here. And it's a pretty cool thing that happens down here. It is about to rain though, which sucks, so I do have to get to work, and maybe we'll come back and do a vlog here one day. Oh yeah, you hear that? It's the sound of popcorn. And in case I didn't already say it or you haven't guessed, I am on the internal mic for the Ace Pro 2 because, well, I haven't received the mic air yet. It's on the way though. I can keep saying that until it happens. It actually does get quite busy down here for these events, and I think that's great. Like, it's one thing that Vancouver is really missing is having like this whole like, check this out, this is a vintage shop here. some pretty sweet hats there actually. But one thing Vancouver's missing is like the fun part of life. Like we're very rigid and just, we make very poor decisions when it comes to what we're doing with what we have. So it's nice to see the Shipyards really taking charge and just constantly having community-based events where it doesn't cost anything. Like even during the winter, they've got the Christmas markets, which they're kind of infamous in Vancouver, especially the ones downtown for you have to pay a lot to get in. It's like paying to get into a mall. You're paying an entry fee to go pay for overpriced things, which is really annoying. But the Shipyards kind of broke that with just having it free and open. It still is really expensive, but again, you don't have to buy anything. So, and you don't have to pay to get in to buy stuff. I do want to take you guys on more areas and kind of like tour type things in our province here of BC, because there's so many cool little hidden gems. And I feel like, I guess for me, a lot of times when I watch vlogs and I see people in different countries vlogging or different areas, like I really I really want to know what's going on around those people, around those places. And it can seem like a boring thing in your own neighborhood, but somebody who I think does this really well is Cam Brown Vlogs. I actually just watched, he just had an hour and 30-minute vlog, and I watched the whole thing. Now, it's very rare that I get an hour straight to watch YouTube, but I kind of just like threw my AirPods in, I was doing dishes, and I was just watching. And Cam just has a way about him of making it so comfortable for the viewer and the people around him to engage in the vlog, that it just gives this whole, like it really comes off in the final product. So I kind of like ripped through an hour and 30-minute vlog. He was at a winery, took us through all 6 courses and wine pairings of each ones, and just like it made me want to go to this place. And I told him in a comment, I was like, man, whoever hired you to do this did their homework and made the right call, because I don't know how many people are going to see it, but for anyone who does, like the experience that Cam got there, I feel like really transferred through and kind of showcased exactly what it's about. Like I felt like I was having dinner there with Cam, and I really want to go to that winery. So even though I'm in Canada, bro, Cam, I'm loving the 1 hour, 1.5 hour vlogs. It's a lot for me to be able to like, I don't want to say mentally prepare. It's a lot for me to have the time to sit down and do that, but when I do get around to it, I really enjoy watching your longer stuff. And like I said a billion times, I think you need your own Netflix show. We got 4 minutes. So what do you guys think of iLog? I actually think for 8-bit footage or 8-bit color, it actually looks pretty good. I haven't obviously been able to watch this exact clip, but I did shoot an entire video with iLog that I haven't posted yet to just kind of get a feel for what it would be like grading. And I think it held up quite well, given the fact that it's 8-bit color. I think the DJI still has a slight edge in terms of like the greens and stuff like that. But if I'm being honest, it's like more than acceptable for if you want to color grade your own footage. But I actually don't think that's where the strength of Insta360 lies. I think it really is in the mobile editing experience. They have some good filters in their app. It's just like I've seen the light a little bit in the even more reducing of friction. Like frictionless creation is something I always talk about on this channel, and I've really seen it a lot with, obviously with the smaller cameras, but then as I've relatively reframed all my gear, like the Insta360s just go even further. It's not to say they replace the DJIs or are better, it's just the mobile app experience is better. So we'll talk about this more in depth as time progresses and as I continue to explore all of the different things. I just want to touch on quick, me and Luis had a phone call the other day, a FaceTime call, and it actually, like I was telling him right away, I'm like, this is blowing my mind, because both of us looked exactly the same as we do in our vlogs. And because they're relatively low production, like even the camera from the phones, they just looked like we were watching each other's vlogs, but we were able to have a conversation, which was so cool. So Luis, I really appreciate that phone call. I appreciate the video you posted. Might be yesterday or the day before. I'm not sure when I'm going to post this video, but yeah, if you guys are looking to get into vlogs or trying to figure this whole thing out, you gotta follow Luis. You gotta follow Cam Brown Vlogs. I will be posting a Follow Friday type video, probably next video. So this one is really just about the motion blur and about the NDs on the Ace Pro 2. Let me know what you think below, and I'll see you in the next video. Ah, dang, I went back to the same thing. That's okay. Peace.